The chain around my ankle was a birthday gift I never asked for. It was 6 a.m. on October 15th, my 16th birthday, when I heard the basement door open and my father's heavy footsteps on the stairs. Most kids wake up to happy birthday or breakfast in bed. I woke up to the sound of metal links dragging across concrete. "Get up," Dad commanded, his voice flat and cold like the basement floor. "Time for your celebration." My name is Maya, and I'd learned long ago that sarcasm was my father's native language, especially when it came to me. But this felt different. The chain in his hands, the padlock swinging from his fingers, the way Mom stood at the top of the stairs watching. This was planned. "What are you doing?" I asked, though my body already knew, pressing itself against the wall. "Giving you exactly what you deserve for your birthday," he said, grabbing my ankle. "Nothing." The cold metal locked around my ankle before I could pull away. The chain was about 6 feet long, attached to the old water heater that hadn't worked in years. I could reach the toilet in the corner and the dirty mattress I'd been sleeping on since they moved me down here 3 months ago, claiming my bedroom was needed for Mom's craft room. She hadn't crafted anything except new ways to make me miserable. "Mistakes don't get parties," Dad shouted, his voice echoing off the concrete walls. "Mistakes don't get cake. Mistakes don't get anything but exactly what they are, worthless." Mom descended halfway down the stairs, holding something. For one stupid, hopeful second, I thought maybe she'd protest, maybe she'd say this was too far. Instead, she threw a plastic bag at me. It landed with a wet thud. "Your cake, princess," she sneered. Inside was a moldy loaf of bread, green and black spots covering what might have once been white bread. The smell made me gag. 16 years ago, Dad said, testing the chain to make sure it would hold, was the worst day of my life. The day you ruined everything. So no, we won't be celebrating. We'll be mourning. They left me there, the basement door slamming shut, the lock clicking into place. No windows. No light except for the single bare bulb hanging from the ceiling. No sound except my own breathing and the skitter of mice in the walls. But what they didn't know, what they'd never bothered to learn about their mistake of a daughter, was that I'd been planning for this day too. Just differently. 3 weeks ago, Aunt Jennifer had called me secretly at school. She was Dad's sister, but they'd been estranged for years. She'd been trying to reconnect with me, sensing something was wrong. "I want to take you for your 16th birthday," she'd said. "Just you and me. Dinner at that Italian place you mentioned. Would your parents allow it?" I'd told them about it, begging to go. They'd agreed, probably happy to have me out of the house. The reservation was for 6 p.m. tonight. When I didn't show up, when I didn't answer my phone, Jennifer would know something was wrong. She'd already suspected, already asked careful questions about the bruises, the weight loss, why I was never allowed to visit. I sat on the dirty mattress, the chain already rubbing my ankle raw, and began counting. Not minutes, those would drive me insane. I counted my breaths. In and out. 1. In and out. 2. Each breath bringing me closer to 6 p.m. Around what I guessed was noon, based on the hunger clawing at my stomach, I heard them upstairs. The TV was on, some game show Mom loved. They were laughing, the sound filtering through the floorboards along with dust. They'd ordered pizza. I could smell it, the scent torture to my empty stomach. Mom opened the door briefly to throw down a water bottle. It was hot from sitting in the sun, the plastic soft and warped. "Hydration is important," she called down mockingly. "Wouldn't want you dying on your birthday. Think of the paperwork." By 3 p.m., I was guessing, but my internal clock had gotten good during these basement stays. I heard them getting ready. Dad's work boots on the floor above. Mom's heels clicking. "We're going out," Dad yelled down. "Don't want to be here for your pity party." The front door slammed. The house went quiet. That's when I started screaming. Not randomly, not helplessly, but strategically. 3 screams, then silence. 3 screams, then silence. A pattern that would seem intentional to anyone listening. The neighbors were mostly at work, but Mrs. Patterson next door was always home, always watching her stories and tending her garden. My throat was raw after an hour, but I kept going. 3 screams. Silence. 3 screams. Silence. At 5:45 p.m., I heard it, a car in the driveway. Not Dad's truck, not Mom's sedan. Aunt Jennifer's Honda. She knocked first, politely. Then harder. Then she was at the basement window I couldn't see but knew was there, covered by bushes outside. "Maya!" Her voice was muffled but audible. "Maya, are you in there? Help!" I screamed, my voice cracking. "I'm chained in the basement." Silence. Then the sound of running feet. More car doors. Voices. Many voices. The basement door didn't open for another 20 minutes, but they were the longest 20 minutes of my life. I heard sirens, heard authorities identifying themselves, heard the front door being broken down when no one answered. When light flooded the basement, real light, not the sick yellow of the single bulb, I saw uniforms. Police. EMTs. And behind them, Aunt Jennifer, her face a mask of horror and rage. "Oh my God," she breathed, seeing the chain. "Oh, Maya." A policeman with kind eyes and steady hands approached slowly. "We're going to get you out, sweetheart. Just stay calm. Where are your parents?" "They went out," I said, my voice barely a whisper from all the screaming. "They said they didn't want to be here for my pity party." The officer taking photos of the chain, the padlock, the moldy bread still sitting where Mom had thrown it, muttered something under his breath that sounded like monsters. It took them 10 minutes to cut the chain. The EMT who examined my ankle, raw, bleeding, already showing signs of infection, documented everything with photographs. They found more when they checked me fully: old bruises, scars, malnourishment. "How long have you been sleeping down here?" A social worker named Ms. Davies asked gently. 3 months, I said. Since they needed my room for something more important. That's when we heard Dad's truck pull up. The police had me stay in the ambulance while they arrested them. But I heard it all through the thin walls. "What the hell are you doing in my house?" Dad's voice, indignant and loud. "Arresting you for child endangerment, false imprisonment, and torture," the officer replied calmly. "She's lying," Mom screeched. "Whatever she said, she's lying. She's manipulative, always has been. Ma'am, we found her chained in your basement. It was for her own good. She runs away. Has she ever run away before?" Silence. That's what I thought. Aunt Jennifer rode with me to the hospital. She held my hand while they treated my ankle, while they documented years of abuse, while a detective asked me questions about every scar, every injury, every accident that wasn't. "I tried to get custody when you were little," she told me, tears streaming down her face. "After your mom had that breakdown. But your dad convinced the court he could handle it. He was so charming, so convincing. I should have fought harder." "You came today," I said. "That's what matters." The news spread fast in our suburban neighborhood. Local parents chained daughter in basement on 16th birthday made headlines. The moldy bread became a symbol of their cruelty. Reporters fixated on it, this perverted mockery of a birthday cake. The trial was brutal but necessary. Dad tried to claim I was troubled, that the basement was for my safety. But the chain told a different story. The locks on the outside of the basement door told a different story. The moldy bread, which investigators had preserved as evidence, told the clearest story of all. Mom broke on the stand, admitting everything but blaming Dad, saying she was scared of him too. The jury didn't buy it. There were too many text messages between them, planning my punishment, laughing about my suffering. "Happy birthday to the mistake," one message read, sent from Mom to Dad the night before my birthday. "Can't wait to give her exactly what she deserves," faced with tears of joy. Dad got 15 years. Mom got 12. Both lost all parental rights immediately. When it was my turn to speak at sentencing, I stood tall despite everything. "You called me a mistake for 16 years, I said, looking at them for the last time. "You said my birth was the worst day of your life. But you were wrong. My birth wasn't the mistake, your parenting was. And my 16th birthday, the day you chained me like an animal? That wasn't my worst day. It was my Independence Day." I turned to the judge. They thought they were taking away my birthday. Instead, they gave me the greatest gift, freedom from them. Aunt Jennifer became my legal guardian immediately. That first night in her house, she'd prepared everything. A real birthday dinner, a cake with 16 candles, presents I'd never expected. "It's not your birthday anymore," I pointed out, seeing the spread. "Your birthday is whenever you're free to celebrate it," she said firmly. "So happy birthday, Maya. Happy first day of your real life." I live with her permanently now. She adopted me officially last month, though I'm almost 18 now. My ankle healed, though I have a permanent scar where the chain rubbed it raw. I don't hide it. When people ask, I tell them the truth. It's from the last birthday I spent with my biological parents. The basement of Jennifer's house is finished, carpeted, with windows and light. She turned it into a game room, a place of joy instead of torture. Sometimes I go down there just to prove I can leave whenever I want. This year, for my 18th birthday, we're having a massive party. 50 people, 3-tier cake, more food than we could possibly eat. Jennifer says we're making up for lost time, but I know the truth. She's showing me what love looks like when it's not chained to conditions. Dad wrote me a letter from prison last week. I didn't open it. Mom hasn't tried to contact me at all. Their sentences are long enough that I'll be graduated from college, maybe even law school, before they're released. By then, I'll be attorney Maya Richardson. I took Jennifer's last name. And if they come near me, they'll discover that chains work both ways. The legal ones I'll wrap around them will be much stronger than the one they put on me. The moldy bread was entered into evidence and is presumably still in some evidence locker, slowly decomposing further. It's the perfect metaphor for my parents' love, something that should have been nourishing, turned toxic and dangerous. But here's what they never understood. You can chain a person's body, but not their spirit. You can lock them in darkness, but not extinguish their light. You can throw them moldy bread, but you can't make them swallow your hate. Every birthday now, Jennifer asks what kind of cake I want. I always choose something different, exotic, unexpected. Flavors my parents would have called too expensive or ridiculous. This year, it's going to be a 5-layer chocolate raspberry gatto with gold leaf decorations. Because mistakes don't get parties? Wrong. Survivors get celebrations. And I plan to celebrate every single year of freedom like the gift it is. The chain is gone, cut into pieces by the police and destroyed. But sometimes on my birthday, I still feel its phantom weight on my ankle. Not as a reminder of captivity, but as a reminder of the moment I broke free. 16 candles, 16 years of abuse, and one phone call from an aunt who refused to give up on me. That's the thing about chains. They're only as strong as the person holding the key. And on my 16th birthday, my parents handed that key to the police themselves, wrapped in their own arrogance and cruelty. Now I hold all the keys to my own life. And every door is wide open.